Welcome back to another Purpose Served podcast episode. Are we live? I'm your host Darryl Wingfield. If you're new to this podcast is simply about innovating and improving this human experience the best way that we possibly can through our gift. You know, whatever it is that we've been blessed with, whatever it is that we're trying to create, wherever it is that our spirit is sending us. I believe that it is our duty to bring that out, and fulfill whatever this gift is that we all been blessed with. We all, I feel as though to break through, to get to this threshold, man, there was intention in place, there was purpose in place, and that's why I believe that, we all have been deemed and blessed with a purpose, and it is our duty to live that out. And for everybody that's been tuning in along the journey, I really, really appreciate you guys. You guys know that. It makes me keep going. You know what I mean? It also, like I say all the time, man, it just goes to show that there's people out there that's looking to grow, that's looking to improve. And I got a decent amount of support on the last podcast episode. And for that, I really, really do thank you guys. And I appreciate it. And today in this podcast episode, I'm going to be talking about the process, how important the process is, and for purpose served, how can you use the process to work, in your favor in a sense. And a lot of it has to do with patience and understanding two things. You can only control what you think and what you do. Other than that, everything else is like outside of your control. Seriously. So with that being said, the very first part of this whole entire process is literally, a purpose, a goal, the creation of it. And actually, if you guys watching this on YouTube, you see there's a paper in back of me. You guys probably can't see, it's like too white. But essentially, yo. Oh, snap. Oh, I ain't even know. I thought you was Devontae. Oh, man. What's going on, yo? Oh, yeah, I've been good, bro. I'm good. I'm actually leaving that in here, bro. I don't even care. But you about to dip out or?
Nah, I just came back.
Yo, this is live right now, man. The GOAT, my brother Chris, man. He back home on break, man. Pop your face in here real quick.
What's up, man? It's good, y'all. It's good.
You know what I'm saying? It's the GOAT right here, man. This the GOAT. But it's good to see you, man.
See you, bro.
When you get back?
Today?
Today? I thought you got back yesterday.
Nah, I came back today a couple hours ago.
Oh, snap. All right. I'm going to holler at you, you know what I'm saying? That was little bro right there, man. The GOAT. The GOAT. But that's, that kind of shifted everything a little bit, but that's one person, man. I give it to him. The dude work ethic is through the roof, man. And in a matter of 2 years, he's a freshman right now at Montclair State University. He's playing football there, also running track and field. But watch that man give it his all, man. And another process, he followed the process. And it wasn't easy, but I just watched him stay focused through it all. And that's the one thing I can say about my siblings, my brothers and sisters from them all. It's just that they got gifts of their own, you know what I mean? And for me, I try to show them through what I do and also through what their possibilities are, like, how to maximize their own potential. But I haven't seen my brother in a minute, you know what I mean? The last time I seen him was when I went to his game. This is like, I want to say like a month and a half ago. No. Oh, yeah, just about a month and a half ago. But going back to the process, the first part of the process is literally the creation. Now, I break this down into, I want to say it's 6 steps. That's the totality of everything, but you guys know how it go. We're about to go through a purpose-served rabbit hole starting now. We already started. Y'all here. Now y'all got to stay in to the very end. But for the creation of the goal, there's for every single step, I already developed tools that I talked about on this podcast that's currently, on my website. And these tools is also being built as we speak for your unique personal needs. And this first part, like I said, the creation process, it's an attention builder. So if you go back when we talked about the roadmap is essentially to solve that issue right there. What am I trying to create? What is the purpose? What am I trying to do? And for that, I break it down to three things. And for the most part, when you're thinking about doing things on intention, and for me, I look back with what I'm doing with Purpose Served, what I'm doing with the podcast, what I'm doing with my basketball career, my journey with playing basketball, and what I notice with other people, you can do things on intention and you can do things unintentionally. So pretty much the three things is you have to have the idea. Now this is the first part going into the creation. The idea is the first thing, which is associated with the vision. Check out the last three podcasts if you guys want full detail on what all of this stuff that I'm talking about, because it's about to get deep. But for those that's tuning in and have been tuning in, real ones. But for those that's new, hopefully this information is helpful and I persuade you to go out there and take a freaking risk on yourself, put yourself to the test to see what you're really about. You know what I mean? And for this intention builder, it's the idea that comes first. Second is the behavior, and third is the setting. And for this creation stage, the very first stage out of four, with 6 steps for these stages. The very first stage was the roadmap, the intention builder. And here, this is pretty much, you have this idea. You have this idea that you're trying to pursue. You have this goal. You have this thing that you're in your head that you want to do. You have this feeling about what you should be doing, but you don't necessarily understand how to go about taking those first steps. That hinders a lot of people, is that first step process. What do I do if I never ever did this before? Well, first, get the idea down of what you're trying to do. That's going to be very, very, it's going to make everything a lot simpler for everything going forward. And for this, like I said, I have the roadmap. And the roadmap is essentially for that idea, for the behavior, and for the setting. I have the vision, the destination, and the journey. Now, the vision is associated with the idea, with the creation itself, because essentially what the vision is literally the mental image of whatever it is that you're trying to do. And it means nothing when it's in your head, and that's why for us, I throw certain words out there a lot. I throw potential out there a lot. I throw purpose out there a lot. I throw vision. You're going to hear journey a lot. Because these words are very, very powerful, and they coincide with how we live our everyday life, and this vision is associated with the ideas that everybody has ideas, and that's why they're real cheap, bringing this thing into fruition, which is Purpose Served, what I talk about all the time. How do we go about doing that? And for me, essentially, Purpose Served got created because I was the person that constantly kept running into the problem of I didn't know what to do, but I had an idea of what I was trying to do. I wanted to play overseas basketball, but I didn't know how to play overseas. I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to do it. But there was nobody there to guide me or show me the way. Even with the podcast, I wanted to start a podcast, and when I was looking at how to start a podcast, it wasn't really helpful how to provide the video format and the audio at the same time. I was curious, couldn't find it, So all of these things, I taught myself how to start a business, how to get an LLC. A lot of things, these people tell you to do these things, but they don't show you how to do it. And not only that, they don't even show you how to sustain it, how to maintain it. And for purpose served, I'm creating a system, not want to. I'm creating a system where whatever somebody's intention or universal goal or plan is, providing a very, very basic foundation and format for them to create something and for them to get enough confidence and see that, oh, this is actually doable for myself. I can actually do this. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. We're living in an information overload age, and I'm seeing how counterproductive that actually is. Let me move so feels like I'm not in the middle of the camera. You know what I'm saying? But we're living in an age where we have access to so much information. We see so much, and I talk about it this all the time. But in a sense, that's creating a lot of procrastination. It's creating a lot of anxious energy, anxiety. Everybody's looking and waiting for what's to come, but don't know what's to come. But due to the fact they're seeing so much, exposed to so much, it's like we're sitting ducks, And for me, I'm the type of person that I always met fear with aggressive behavior, like go towards that thing I'm scared of. And I can't say a lot of people go in the opposite direction. We all different. We all respond to different triggers, differently. But essentially, that's how I treated fear. And what helped me get over that fear is I started realizing, you know, through years of introspection at this point that once I didn't have that intention, I was making a lot of mistakes, and I was going through process and this cyclical nature of keep making the same mistake and wondering how I got here in the first place. You know what I mean? And throughout this podcast and this journey in particular, I tell you guys like the many personal ups and downs that I had to get to this point. You know what I mean? There was, at some point in my life, legit 4 going on 5 years ago, where I didn't have a dime to my name. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have a car. And it's in the middle of winter in New Jersey, and I'm riding a bike to work. I'm riding a bike to the gym. I feeling a lot of bitterness, feeling a lot of limited beliefs within myself because, being 24 years old, 23 going on 24, my life was nowhere near where I thought it would be. And I didn't understand that, a lot of things that I was doing, it wasn't well thought through. They seemed good in the moment, and I just did it. I didn't sit down and really map things out, And over time, through my personal trial and errors, I learned. I learned the hard way. You know, my life is a prime example of me, learning the hard way. But through that, like I said, I developed the gift of, crazy enough, unwavering courage that, in the face of my fears, I can still step up and do what I got to do in spite of that feeling. And through that, I'm trying to gift you guys the same thing. And through that, it made me sit down and sit back and take inventory on my life and what I'm trying to do and what I was trying to do and why it fell short. It's a lot, but for a lot of us, we don't take accountability for our actions. We don't like accepting responsibilities, and we try to avoid a lot of things. But eventually they always come back to haunt us, and it always comes back, when we least expect it. And certain times it's always when we behind closed doors. That's when the real you show up, and when the mask got to come off. And for me, I got really, really good at facing that and looking at that, and that's not necessarily for everybody. Drifting off a little bit, going back to the creation stage, and the roadmap is essentially the tool that's been developed at Purpose Served to help you build intention on developing an idea, a goal, an intention for your purpose, whatever that purpose may be. And through this, the very, very next step is the preparation stage. So we're going from the creation stage to the preparation stage, and a transition between these two. Hopefully you guys can like zoom in on this. In fact, sorry for those that's listening to the podcast instead of watching this, but when you get a chance, please go on YouTube. Um, you guys probably can't see this. Um, but essentially, that's a diagram that I created of the process, which is also right in back of me as well, hanging up on the wall. And you guys can see like a little brief thing of a little bit of the purpose served process as well on the opposite side of me, my left or right, probably. But in between each stage, I have the tool that you can use to pretty much help you transition from one stage to another. So from this creation stage to the preparation stage, I have the roadmap to essentially have an intention builder for what you're trying to do. So essentially, with the roadmap, there's the vision, which is the goal, the destination, the goal realized. Where's the time and place that you must fulfill this vision, and the journey, the act from going from this vision to the destination that we're all on this walk all the time. And the journey essentially is associated with the behavior. If you guys aren't forgetting, the behavior, the idea, and the setting. That's essentially go hand in hand with the vision, the destination, and the journey. And now that we're going from the creation to the preparation stage, we talked about this all the time. Now we at the preparation stage is how can I prepare to meet this vision, meet this goal, meet this purpose that I laid out for myself. What can I possibly do to get this done? Because just because you got the intention, that doesn't mean you have the plan. You still got to plan it out. And through the POA 5-step system, is essentially the next tool for this stage that Purpose Served has for you to create a plan of action within five steps. That's what the POA is, plan of action, and there's 5 requirements to it. You need the destination. That's first and foremost. Where's the place that this vision is going to be fulfilled at? The vision and the place that it's going to be fulfilled at. Second is the tools and resources that you would need to get to this destination. Third is the time. What do you need to do? How often do you need to be with the actions and the tools and resources? Like, how often do you need to use it? How often do you need to be, like, for example, if you want to start selling art, how often do you need to be making art? Is it on a daily? Is it hourly? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Essentially, this part is handled at this stage, and this is associated with the vision, with the destination. And fourth is the consistency. So pretty much what behaviors do you need to consistently be doing in order for you to meet this time, which is associated with many destinations, many goals for you to meet this main destination. So this 5-step plan is simple, but it gets really, really intricate depending on whatever it is, whatever purpose you trying to serve. And from there, number 5, if you don't get to the destination on time in a timely manner, what can you do to, with the tools and resources? Go back to number 2. What can you change with the tools and resources? How can you use these things differently to meet the destination? The destination don't have to change. You really want to change the destination if it really, really isn't serving you anymore, and it's pulling you in a direction where it's starting to become harmful more than it is, contributing to your personal development. And that's the only times you want to change the destination. Other than that, don't be no fucking quitter. Stick with it. Just go to number 2 and see how can you adjust to meet number 1 still. Because the whole point is to visually start building up resilience, you know what I mean, and seeing yourself completing this thing, seeing this thing to completion. And with that, going back to this POA system, number four is very, very important with being consistent. Um, you have to see this thing through to completion. Don't jump shit. Um, Especially if you feel like it's not working in your favor. Um, it's just a matter of changing the approach. Sometimes you might have to try harder. Sometimes you probably need to relax. Sometimes you need to gather more information. Sometimes you need to be put in a different place. But, before you even embark on the journey itself, these first two stages is essentially having an idea and having a plan for that idea before you even start taking action. You know what I mean? It's just that we're so autonomous. We want things right here, right now. McDonald's drive-through style, and life don't work like that. And that's essentially why I'm talking about the process in general, because life don't work like that. It took me mad long on this 28-year journey for me to get knocked upside my head, for me to truly understand that you can't get everything when you want it, when you feel like it, without understanding that there's other things that play outside of yourself, you know. And essentially, this whole entire process should teach you that, that whatever you're doing, this is bigger than you. It's other components that come with it. And going to from the preparation stage, we now move on to think of this whole thing as a circle. The creation is the top, that's north, and east going to the circle is the preparation. Now we're south. This is the behavior. And the behavior in regards to purpose served, we have the purpose served pyramid associated with the four sides of the pyramid, which is associated with your well-being, um, your emotional well-being, mental well-being, financial well-being, and social well-being. All in all, they go hand in hand to essentially create a behavior that's most suitable for this vision. That's going to make sure that you get to this destination. And once you get to this destination, you're going to do what you got to do. So, I believe 2 podcasts ago and on the website, please just go on the website, check it out. We constantly adding stuff to the website all the time, but essentially break down the four sides of the pyramid and how it's associated with how you think, how you feel, how you manage your money, and how you interact with other people socially. This is very, very important to your behavior. 2 of them is an input system, and the other 2 is an output system. I talked about input output systems before. That's like the dual nature of my brain thinking on and off, and black and white and cold and hot. But the first 2 that I talked about with, your mental and emotional well-being, that's definitely the input system. That has a lot to do with what's going on within you. The last 2 is associated with what's going on outside of you, and the money that you're receiving. How are you spending that money? How are you saving that money? How are you managing this money, which is essentially, managing your life, and for a lot of us, it has a great, great deal to do with like the amount of stress that, we carry every day. It has a lot to do with money. It affects how our mood, it affects how we think, and it affects our decision making. You know what I mean? So for the purpose served pyramid with the vision, the output aspect is pretty much trying to get you to see and be aware of how you interact with yourself and how you interact with the world around you, and is it really lined up with that vision, that creation that you looking to put out into the world. And you're gonna realize quickly, if it lines up or not. You know what I mean? And that the behavior stage transitions to the last stage, which is essentially the setting. And to carry you over from the behavior to the setting, I had a purpose served pyramid. Sorry about that. Tripping. But yeah, the setting, which is very, very, very important. All of these stages are extremely important, but the setting, you're putting yourself in the right place where you need to be. And that's that destination. That's essentially the time and the place. And for the most part, it's going to be where the time and a place where that creation, that purpose, that goal has to be fulfilled in that setting, you know. And for that, that's we have the Cole system for the step. And that was literally talked about on a very, very last podcast is the Cole system, and it's an acronym for competition, organization, learning, and expression. And expression on a purpose served pyramid was the connector to get to the destination, because ultimately the expression, I know I have the definition somewhere around here. Y'all know me with my um definitions, man. Um um Expression is the act of making known your thoughts and feelings. And to do that in a proper setting is very, very important. And I talked about on a previous podcast episode how important it is to nurture your goal, your purpose, and that creation that you have, that you're in the process of building or you have in your head. How important it is to put that in the right place and let it grow and help you integrate that into the world. And the purpose of the pyramid is pretty much giving you the behavior and the means to get that done. And the setting, the destination is the place to get that done. And essentially speaking, you know, experiences gained there, companions, friends is met there, and it's so those four basic ways is pretty much no matter what, if you really, really think about it, unintentionally, think about this whole entire process that I talked about unintentionally. I kind of, I probably made it complicated for some of y'all. I probably got to listen to this a couple times, but um, it's interchangeable. They're all interchangeable, and unconsciously, you know, through our job, through work, school, if you're in school, you know, whatever group that you're in, friend group, um, anything that you're participating in, you know, these four basic things is going to come about. You know, you're going to be competing, you're going to be organizing, you're going to be learning, or you're going to be expressing yourself. And you don't want to hinder that because, you know, ultimately you hindering that, you're hindering yourself. And here we want to maximize potential. You know, we want to see how far we can take these blessings that's been granted upon us, and can we really, really improve the world? Can we really improve this experience? Mad people are in the dark right now. Low key myself. Purpose Serves has made me realize I'm in the dark. I'm still trying to make light in this whole situation, to be quite honest, because this is fairly new. We're talking about 2 years, you know, and the fact that you guys are here for the beginning part of this journey, man, is pretty sweet. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, battery just died to my camera, so my bad. But on a serious note, though, um, I was a very, very, very self-serving person. I, I, I did a lot and not really thinking about how I was affecting other people. And ultimately that way of living literally always left me feeling like real shitty about myself. And through that, I felt as though I would never be able to change. I could never do better. And it got me to the point where I was accepting my fate. I was going to be shit. I was going to keep messing up. And that was my destiny, you know. And this is being real honest and vulnerable, which I'm low key working on right now. But yeah, I talked about it here and there on his podcast, but that's how I responded, you know, when things didn't go my way, and I wanted things to go my way all the time. And I was only thinking about basketball, you know, what I can get from basketball, and that's it. That's literally it. And that was the positive, the absolute positive side of me. You know what I mean? Because other than that, you know, I practice escapism like a lot. You know, trying to run away from everything. You know, didn't want to directly confront anything until a lot of life situations transpired, and I found myself in situations that I absolutely couldn't get out of, and I had to stare myself in the face. And in those moments, that's like, you know, where I over time learned how to respond with courage, and learned that I can be better than this. Learned that I'm bigger than my limited beliefs, and that's why I say I stumbled upon Purpose Served by accident through Sean Mills at Pure Passion Sports. Man, salute to him. Uh, 2 weeks from seeing going out there in Orlando and hooping down there, but um, it was just as a kid, and then growing older, it's just a lot of things just kept growing on me, and it felt as though I was doomed, and I was going to be stuck, and I got out of that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still kind of battling, but at the same time, you know, this whole entire vibe, the energy that I'm getting around you guys is just, I know I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, before that's what it felt like, but I'm not, you know, and y'all aren't either. And y'all are very, very capable. You know, people may not tell y'all that. You're probably not given that guidance. Your environment is probably not suitable for the vision and the creation that you have. You know what I mean? And it feels like everything is hindering you, you know. But that's why I created Purpose Served. I create that space for you to literally go all in on yourself, you know, because ultimately, you don't know how much of a blessing that you can possibly be for somebody else. Not only, most importantly, yourself. You know, don't shy away from that. None of the stuff I'm talking about is easy. Far from it. Most likely the most difficult thing that you can partake in. But it is legit your duty, man. You don't want to go to this grave, you know, with what ifs. I should have. I could have. And a lot of us is on that trajectory, you know. So for me personally, I'm willing to leave it all on the line. And, you know, when my expiration date hit, I want to know that I served my purpose, you know. And I pray that you guys feel the same way. So yeah, with that being said, we came to another end of the podcast, you know what I mean? Fucks with y'all. It's like, nah, yeah, I gotta cut it out. I don't think my mom's been listening to these. 28 years old talking about my mom. He's like, nah, you cursing. But to all you guys, man, become a Purpose Served member. Join the Purpose Served community. I have 6 forms in there that you guys can partake in. If you guys got any ideas, if you guys are already doing something, put it up on the Purpose Served community. And also check out the roadmap, the coal system, the purpose served pyramid, the 5-step POA, appropriate plan of action that I have is all on the purpose served website. I got courses on the way, I got webinars on the way, and the app, the purpose served app, is still underway. So there's a lot of things going. I thank you guys for being patient with me. There's also shorter content coming outside the podcast. But there's a lot of things in the works. I appreciate you guys. And every time you listen to this, I tell you what, you serving your purpose. you know, yeah. Serve your purpose. Treat the purpose as if it's the goal, and take action towards that goal. That's the serving part. You know what I mean? That's that service towards the purpose. And essentially, everything goes through a process. Things just don't happen just like that. I talk about the 4 seasons all the time. I talk about the sun. I talk about the moon. You can see this in, nature. You can see this in schools when kids are constantly graduating high school, coming in a freshman. You know what I mean? And then seniors are leaving. That's happening every single year in so many different places. So the process is all around us. Are you attentive of it? You know what I mean? Are you using that to your benefit? These are all things to be mindful about. And also the tools are there for you if you're looking to serve your purpose. Thank you guys. Love y'all. I'm out. Deuces. Drop some mic.